Hi everyone, welcome back to Ships at Sea. This audio is actually a voiceover as the original audio recording was a terrible quality. So today what we'll be doing is taking a quick cargo run from here towards the northernmost port, Moscow. We'll just take a little bit of cargo up there in the Ulysses, the Tier 3 ship. So I'll pick up a large job. And I did actually want to see if there was any medium jobs here, but unfortunately there wasn't, so instead I just took deliver 5 goods, just small goods to Moscow, just to earn a little bit of extra cash. So at the moment the Tier 3 ship still has the smolt tank on it, so what I'm going to do is just nip to the shipyard and replace that smolt tank with a second crane. It's not strictly necessary, but it will give me more options when it comes to unloading the cargo. So I've already bought the crane previously, so all I have to do is just rig it. I don't have to buy it again. So that's done, and then we'll get back out there, and hopefully the ship wasn't replaced. Often what happens is the ship will reposition itself, and it's quite awkward to then have to load cargo. But I think on this occasion I was lucky and the ship pretty much just stayed in the same place. So this is the first time loading cargo, crates etc. like this, using the new crane system. Actually find with a winch and hook it's much easier, and you can actually fit the cargo anywhere on my boat now. There's no blind spots. The crane can really load my cargo pretty much anywhere it needs to. But one thing I am noticing, you can see how wildly that crate is swinging. Obviously it doesn't look like there's any weight, so again, similar to what I've found with the fish food, it's quite hard to position it very accurately. It tends to swing too much. The other problem I found is that if you're not quite right where it lowens, what happens is it doesn't tell you you can't lower it. It just sort of, the crate disappears through the deck of a boat. It'd be better if maybe some icon came up just to say can't unload here. Obviously I'm not too fussy because I'm carrying relatively little cargo, but if you were trying to fill this boat up, I can imagine it would get quite fiddly if space is a premium. Yeah, I'm happy with that. What I do is I'll actually speed up the loading now. It's not actually this fast. The other thing I did find that again could be useful is if the actual crates would bump into each other. At the moment they have no mass, so this crate would actually just push into another crate, so you can't nudge them up against each other. See if I could just bump up against it. It would stay there and I could just lower it into position, but it will actually just go through it. That'll do. I was quite happy with that. I mean, I should point out, as always, this is an early access game. It is a work in progress, so things might still change. They might still be able to add physics and a bit more weight to these containers. They are planning to bring sort of quite big tier 4, tier 5 ships, I believe, large container ships. So obviously, if that's the case, loading, unloading will be quite a critical part. One more to do. Okay, so I'll just store this crane, and then all we have to do is we'll quickly load up the 5 boxes. We have to do them by hand, and then we can get underway. So I did want to see if I could just stack this box on top of the other one. It doesn't look like I could, so eventually I just gave up. Again, there's no real way of knowing if you can stack cargo on top of other cargo apart from actually trying it. And then we just got the last one, just a med supply, I don't know, maybe someone's kidney. The other thing is, what might be interesting, if they brought in some sort of tie down facility where you had to actually secure the cargo before you could go. But anyway, that cargo's all secured now, so we'll get underway. So bow thrusters make leaving the dock so much easier on this big boat. Okay, great. So we'll clear the harbour. Again, as always, I won't make you share the entire journey with me. I won't make you share the entire journey. We'll just cut to the port once we arrive. But I'll just let you watch as we clear the dock. Okay, so I'll see you in Moscow. Okay, so we've arrived in Moscow, obviously middle of the night. I've sort of found where I want to dock. So I'm going to bring the boat in. We're looking at the radar at the very top of the screen there, and I can just see the edge of the dock there, so I'm going to use the radar because obviously I can't see anything apart from the barest bit of light out the window there. Just get it roughly lined up and I'll just bring it in, and hopefully those bow thrusters will be of some use again. Okay, docked. So what we do now is just unload the cargo. So again, I'm really struggling to see where I could actually put the crate down. There should be a green silhouette underneath, but at night time I don't know if it's settings. I have set it more or less as it should be on the video settings, but it's really hard. It's almost guesswork to try and lower this down. So in fact what I eventually decided to do was just take a rest and go and make it daylight. Yeah, so I've decided just to to make it daylight, advance a few hours. I've got plenty of time before the cargo job actually expires, so again, maybe what they should have is an illuminated area there on a dock. I can't imagine it would ever be pitch black. Would be some sort of lighting where you could see where you can loan the goods. Or even if it has some physical barriers, a couple of cones marking the actual area you can unload would be useful. Because you do end up sort of doing a lot of guesswork. But now I can see it's daylight. Things get a whole lot easier. Unload the final one. We collect our payment, which is nowhere near what you get when you're doing fish farming or even longline fishing, but you see that's actually looks like it's glitching into the other container. It'd be better if you could just bump up against it. I can just see the area I want it to drop down in, but again, because there's no weight on it, it's swinging. And job done at last. So I was considering going to get another job and see if we could come back. I also had a look because there are some fishing missions where you can just do some jig lining challenges, fastest catch, most fish in 3 minutes, etc. But again, what started to happen is the graphics, it really started to tear the screen. It really started to become quite glitchy. You can just see that now. I'm not sure why it does that. I haven't really changed my settings. I don't know if it's associated with the Ulysses, because I've never noticed it on the tier 3 fishing vessel, but because it was become so glitchy, I decided that we just end the video there. So yeah, it's quite a short video. As always, I hope you've enjoyed it, and obviously any comments or questions please leave below. Any suggestions as to what could be causing this screen tearing, I'd be glad to hear from you. But until next time, as always, take care of yourselves. Have a great day. Goodbye.